autumn is almost here, and it's my favorite time of year. And I want to make sure that you're ready to scrapbook your fall photos, or maybe you have fall photos from last year, or in this case, 2022, that haven't been scrapbooked yet. Hi, my name is Amanda Farlinger, and I help women tell their story and capture their memories through scrapbooking. And so today we're using these photos from October of 2022. And I love the colors, the oranges and the yellows and some deep reds we have here in Ontario. And I love making soups, especially beef barley soup. Now that I see this photo, I realize I haven't had that in a really, really long time. Do you like making your own soups? And I bought myself a new scarf, so it was purple. And so I wanted to show off my new scarf and my backyard and our oak tree out front, and of course, Griffin curled up with extra blankets in the basement on his side of the couch. And he definitely has a side of the couch. I don't know if you have dogs or not, but both dogs have their own sides of the couches. So I wanted to talk about color. You could pick a color collection like the Regals. So I have a sample here of all the colors in the Regals. And Gorgeous Grape is one of them, one of my favorite purples. And so you can use colors just from this collection if you wanted. But one of my favorite things to do when creating a scrapbook layout is using designer series paper. So we are going to use the Iconic Celebrations designer series paper. Now this one here is Cajun Craze, Cherry Cobbler, Misty Moonlight, Moody Mauve, Mossy Meadow, and Pecan Pie. So keep this sheet when it comes with your designer series paper because it will tell you what colors coordinate with the paper. So you can either order the paper ahead of time for when you're ready to do your project, or when you're ready to do your project and you have the colors already, then you can pull out the ones that coordinate. So this pack of 6x6 paper, it works for a bunch of different celebrations between Halloween, fall, winter related like Christmas or other celebrations, birthdays. You could use it for just snow festivities, Halloween. I think I said Halloween already, but there's candy canes. You could use it for birthdays. So a bunch of, and Valentine's Day. So you can use it for a wide variety of projects. And this would be great for pocket pages too, because the 6x6 works for your 3x4 pockets and 4x6 pockets. All right, so we're going to set that off to the side for now. Then also, so these products are on my online store, and Stampin' Up! Releases the online exclusives a couple times throughout the year. So these ones were released, I believe, in July, or I think it was July, because now we're in August, even though it's crazy. So the Changing Leaves bundle includes if I can say the word right, the Changing Leaves Hybrid Embossing Folder. So this folder will emboss and die cut your leaves for you, and we'll show you how in a few minutes. So this here comes with dies. So not only does it have some coordinating dies, like some labels and some other die cut leaves, but this piece right here goes on in, whoops. Oh, I'm on the wrong side. Oh no, it was on the right side. Right here. I always got to remember the Stampin' Up! Logo is where you put your dies. So that goes on here. So we'll use that in just a few minutes. I like keeping my dies in an extra stamp case with a piece of magnetic sheet in there. That's not how it comes, but it fits better in my drawer in the stamp cases. Okay, we're just going to set that aside. So now we have a couple pieces of the designer series paper pulled out. I felt these best coordinated with what the colors are in my photos. And we have a piece of basic white for our background. And this part, the downside of 12x12, or 6x6 pages on a, 6x6 designer series page or paper on a 12x12 page, is that you have to line up the two pieces and kind of get them straight-ish. Now, for some reason, whether this piece is extra, like this Whisper White is just wider, for some reason, it's not meeting up in the middle, and I'd rather have my white in the center doesn't normally do this. The first time I've used this paper, but we are going to be creative and cover up the center line with some photos. Well, with the photos I showed you and embellishments. So no one's going to notice that we have this white line down the center of our page. Or you could use it as, because some of these photos, you could switch up the sketch a little bit. Oh yeah, the sketch. That's what I wanted to say, was another way to start your scrapbook page, or not another way, but a great way to start your scrapbook page is to use a sketch. So we're going to use my layout sketch number 3. And don't worry, all the products we're using, as well as the link for this sketch, will be down below in the description. So if you'd like to recreate this project, make sure to go online, purchase these items, then you can come back and rewatch and scrapbook with me. And then let me know if you make this page. So this sketch here has 2 4x6 photos, but because I had a lot of 4x6 photos, I decided to do 3x4 and replace these photos here with one giant photo and then an extra one on top. So that's where we're going with this layout, is copying a sketch. And I like to change up sketches every once in a while and just change a few aspects of it. But it's very easy just to copy the sketch and then, oops, go from there. See, this is not straight, but that's okay. No one's really going to look at it later, like not look, but no one's really going to notice later. Although me being the one looking at it, I might notice. But that's okay. Oops. So there. Something like that. So even though we have this white line, so you could take this and do one day on one side and one day on the other, because I do have a couple of these photos are from the 27th of October of 2022, and a couple are from October 29th. So if you were doing like a week in the life or even a day in the life, that could be morning and evening. Say it was beautiful autumn weather and then it snowed in the afternoon or evening. So then you could do this side as kind of the winter papers and this side as fall. So that's another idea that you could do. So then we'll have this here, and then really you'll just have this part down here, and then this will go right here. So something like this. But before I put this down, the photos down, I wanted to do some die cutting with you to show you that in dynamic or hybrid embossing folder. All right, so for this, usually I use the Stampin' Cup Mini emboss machine, but we're going to use the big one today because the folder won't fit in the mini. And then you want to have your base plate, number 1, and your specialty plate. And then we also want to have the die plate, number 2, and 2 of the number 3s for later. All right, we're going to use this pine designer paper, which has candy canes in the back. The candy canes won't work with the layout. And we'll have this here. Remember, the dies go on the side with the Stampin' Up! Logo. So we put those down, and they don't really click in place, but they can sit there, so they don't really move around. And then you want to have the paper you would like to be up. You face it down towards the Stampin' Up! Logo, and then we close it up, and you want the fold to go in first. And then you just hold on to the top and roll it all in like so. Then you take off the dies, and depending on your machine, you might need to put it through twice, but mine, I don't need to. So there you have, let's see if I can show you the detail. So there's the detail of the leaves. So then we can use those as an option. But another way is, we'll put that. Now, another thing you can do too, which I've done with some other pieces, is this one right here. I've just cut it out with some scissors. So it is this one here. So that one there versus that one there. So different designer paper, but I've just cut it out. So that way you can get more bang for your buck out of the papers. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you is you can also just, I guess I'll just do this. You can also take the stamp, oops, take the stamp out of the stamp case, and you can stamp this in whatever color on whatever color of ink, and then die cut it using these dies. So you can either stamp and die cut, or just stamp on your background, because that's another option that you could do with the basic white back here. You could stamp all these leaves back there if you wanted. I decided to have the focus on the die cut leaves. Now another option for you is, oh, where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Stampin' Up! Brought out a brayer. And I'm not going to do it right now because it is quite messy. But what you do is you take your folder, and I did it the opposite way. So I inked up, so this is the side that you put your dies on. You take your ink and pull up your ink with this, and then put the ink all over your embossing folder. Put it through the machine, and then you end up with leaves like this, and like this. So you can see there's still a texture, and it's a different way. So no stamping, but you're using the embossing folder to stamp. So this bundle here is really versatile. You have a bunch of different ways of using it to create your layouts. Now, I don't know if I'm going to use these on my layout or not, but we have a bunch of different options. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is, said that we needed the die cutting plate and our plates, because I have some pecan pie and some gorgeous grape here, and I've put some adhesive on the back on both, and I want to have another one of these. I want one of that on there. I want to make sure I'm on the adhesive, because these are such fine line die cuts that it just makes it easier to have that adhesive on it first. So that way I just have to peel off the back and it's ready to put on the layout. Oops. So we're going to snap that back up. All right. Oops. And there's some more that I did previously. Move those out of the way. Okay. Where's my die brush? Oops. Here's my die brush. And then you can put it on the take your pick tool. But sometimes I find that I could just easier just to use the little handle myself. And sometimes it doesn't take it out all the way. There we go. Put the die back before I lose it. There's one die. And there's the other. Okay. Okay. So now we bring in our layout that we've prepped with our Iconic Celebrations Designer Series paper. And we have all of these die cuts and everything ready to go. So we have some little pieces. We have some stamped or inked pieces. We have some Designer Series pieces. We have all the pieces. Now, the biggest thing to do, I think, before we put the embellishments on is actually to stamp kind of a title before I forget, because then we can decide where the title is going to go. I'm going to use some Memento Black, and we're going to use a little note to brighten your day, but we're going to not use note. We're going to try anyway. So I like putting my clear stamps right on the table and then picking them up with a block. And then we're going to take a piece of purple sticky, because purple is my favorite, and cover up note like so. Then we're going to ink this up with our black, and then hope I don't mess this up. All right, so, oops, don't want to hit the camera, sorry. There we go. So a little black transferred, but that's okay. There we go. And then you want to take your Simply Chamois with a little bit of water on it to clean the stamp. And now we're going to take our basic black Stampin' Write marker. So this is one of the only markers you can buy as an individual. I use this for journaling and I love it. So now we're just going to do fall to brighten your day. Don't quite like that, but we're going to go with it. I don't like how I turned the L into like a, I don't know, a weird thing. But that's just me. Okay, we're going to trim off the end, use scissors or use your scissors or trimmer. I think we're going to tuck that right back in there. Okay, so I think trying to figure out what ones I want, which I was thinking the plaid, but I think the plaid kind of clashes. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you think the plaid works better, or I think I like, I don't know which one I like. Maybe we'll do both, and we'll do all the, and Flynn got a hold of this one, like, so it's kind of, he got it in his mouth because it fell on the floor. All right, so maybe we use this one too. We put this one back here. Oh, I kind of like that. I like how this one covers up the little issue. Okay. And now do I use this one over here at all? Or does it stand out too much? That's not too bad. So in this one, we had the title up here. So I've made it smaller and we're going to put it here. And instead of using this here, this little label or die cut or whatever, we're going to just use leaves all over the page. And then I cut out the purple so I can layer this on top of a photo, or not top of a photo, on top of some of these leaves to kind of draw the picture into the background. And I didn't want to glue this down yet because I wanted to see how the leaves were going to be tucked in behind, if that makes sense. Okay, I want to use these. A little purple up there, maybe. I could use the back of this. Ooh, I like that. That's one of those ones I hand cut after it was embossed. Let's see what else. Add this there. Let me add these on top. And then there. Oh, this needs a little something down here just because it looks a little empty by itself. What do I want to add to it? Maybe I'll add this little leaf there. All right. So I think I like that. what we're going to do is I'm going to pull this up first. And then we're going to put some glue on the back. I probably should use the fine tip. That would be a little bit easier. Woo, not that much. I don't need that much glue. And that's going to go right about there. And then this one doesn't have adhesive sheet on the hole, but that actually is a little bit nicer because it's easier to pull off this. Okay, now I'm just going to move this over a little bit. So I have to remember where that is so that I put it back down. And you could always add adhesive sheets to the back of your paper before you put it through that hybrid embossing folder. So that way that you don't have to add glue to the back. You can just peel off the adhesive sheet and away you go. And you want to be careful with some of these because they're a little more delicate. Something like that. That out of my way. I do not want candy canes on my layout. Not on this one. I don't know. The candy canes and leaves for Christmas, they could work. Maybe. Possibly. What do you think? And pull this off. Like so. This one tucks behind that other one. There we go. Sometimes I forget. I don't know about you, but sometimes I forget to put down things that I want to tuck behind before I put my photos down, and then it's harder to kind of tuck them behind, but then you just end up cutting them smaller until you can kind of shove them in behind. There we go. Okay, so up here, let's put this one down first. I like the orange on orange or the Cajun craze on orange because the difference in the pattern will subtly pull your eye over. And I'm still not sold on Moody Mauve. That one's an in color. Stampin' Up! Has these awesome in colors they bring out every year, which I love seeing the new colors. But then sometimes it's like, I don't know about the color. But that's what's fun about designer series paper is that the designer paper, if you pull the colors from the pack, sometimes it challenges you to use a different color than you normally would. Or maybe in this case, maybe you would use these colors together, but we're adding some gorgeous grape to it. And that's not always a color you'd think of when you think of fall. All right, so these are all down now. That's actually really pretty. So now we can put our photos on. So now I don't have to worry about what kind of glue I put on this. And then we can finish it off. Whoops, don't put it on upside down, Maida. And then, don't cover up that. Oh, I didn't put that down. Let's put that down. And I have glue on my finger again. That's what, the second time? Third time? Anyhow. Let's put this over here a little. And I still have glue on my finger. I didn't put those leaves over far enough, but that's okay. Just to tuck behind a little bit. Oh, yeah, I didn't put those over far enough at all. That's okay. I don't know. Might look straight. And then we'll put on Griffin's photo. And I don't know if I want to... That's not on straight. Oops, that's not straight either. There we go. Okay, so I didn't put the leaves over far enough. Didn't put the photos over far enough, but I still like the look. Just a little bit everywhere of color, different design, and I love trees and leaves, so I love how it's all on here, except maybe I will tuck another purple since that purple is a little more hidden up here, just to tie it all in. And then embellishments, we have the, what are they called? The transparent adhesive back dots. They're from the To Market suite in the annual catalog. I did that video. My last video was the To Market suite. So I figured I had these out on my table. They have purple and greens and kind of a white. And I thought they'd be a great little add-on, excuse me, to this layout. I wasn't sure if I wanted to add any purple, but I think I will. There we go. So just sprinkled throughout the layout. And there, we're done. Oh, wait, I want to put the date. Where do I want to put the date? I thought about putting in like a little journal block, but I don't like that on there. So I'm going to have to think about that. But where do I want to put the date? So I think I'm going to put the date down here. Just make sure because I'm writing it on a finished layout. Freaks me out. Now do I write it up here? Let's do October 2022. The only way I would be able to remember that is I had it on a sticky note. So don't feel bad if you can't remember the dates of the photos that you're scrapbooking and need to use sticky notes. All right, so this layout started as a sketch using the iconic Celebrations Designer Series paper and pulling colors from both the paper and the photos. And this sketch turned out to be this layout. So the description below will have all the links you need to look at the supplies used to create this layout, to receive those sketches, and also that I have a template in Canva where you can put 2 3x4 photos on a 4x6 photo to print them. So if you want to print those, then you have 2 photos on one. We'll see you next time. Happy